Hello friends, vinyl community, music lovers, welcome to another episode of The Vinyl Survivor. This is where I talk about albums I've recently listened to from my inbox or new purchases and let you know what I thought of them, let you know whether they're going to be staying in the collection, try to give you a little bit of an idea of what they sound like, and maybe they'll be something you're looking for as well. So let's just go ahead and get into it. First thing we have here is a compilation of Dinah Washington. Spotlight on Dinah Washington on the Philips label. This is a UK pressing of this. Just a really good comp, 2 LP comp of Dinah Washington music, you know, jazz, vocal kind of stuff. Really good, awesome compilation here. Really enjoyed listening to this. Yeah, just some great jazz, female vocal kind of stuff. Really enjoyable, you know, sort of the original version of Adele or something like that, you know, very diva-ish and good songs, good music, and thoroughly enjoyed this one. Philips label, a really cool label, and just a really nice comp. So if you see this one around and you're curious about Dinah Washington, I can recommend this. You know, it was a good pickup and a good exploration into her music. Not particularly something I would buy a lot of Dinah Washington albums or seek out more, but just to have this and to have some of her music is this is a really good way to do it here. 2 LP, nice 2 LP comp, a lot of different stuff on here. This one is staying in the collection. Really enjoyed it, and some cool jazz vocal. Alright, staying in the jazz kind of vibe here, but going a little bit different with it. This is the London concert from 1978. Oscar Peterson, Lou Bellson, and John Hurd on Pablo Records. Really cool jazz trio. They really play well together. This sounds awesome. Another one that's really great to just put on and relax and enjoy. Very enjoyable music. Enjoyable jazz stuff here. Nice gatefold, another nice 2 LP set. So you get a lot of music here, and this is one I would say to keep an eye out for if you're digging around and you see this one cheap and you're looking for some good jazz. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Fairly good stuff here, and I'm gonna be keeping this one as well. There's the cool Pablo Records label. This recording sounds really good. Really well recorded, sounds really live and airy and open and really natural sounding. Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. So, the London concert, Oscar Peterson, Lou Bellson, and John Hurd. Definitely a pickup if you see it and you get a good price on it. It's good stuff. Okay, moving back into the jazz vocal genre, this is Jimmy Rushing, Mr. 5x5. Another sort of compilation, Columbia compilation here. He does sort of a blues jazz style, sort of a little bit of each. It's bluesy and jazzy. I did not appreciate this at all. He has a very gravelly voice, and it's just I don't know. I'm not really big on male jazz vocalists, I guess, in general. Didn't really enjoy this. It was a struggle to get through it. There's a few tracks on here that were sort of okay, but overall I did not enjoy this one. So yeah, unfortunately this one's not going to be staying in the collection. This one's on the Columbia record label. So yes, just some gravelly, jazzy, blues, male vocal stuff, more towards the jazzy side than the bluesy side. It doesn't work for me. I didn't appreciate it. But I'm glad I got to try it out. I don't think I paid very much for this. Okay, the next thing I have to share with you for today was a reissue from this year. First time this has ever been issued in its full version as an official release. This is the release of Pink Floyd's The Division Bell, their 90s release here. Really, an album I really love. I mean, I know it's very controversial. It's very late from Pink Floyd, but this came out when I think it was a senior in high school, and so it was the first new Pink Floyd to come out when I was old enough to be able to listen to music, like The Wall and stuff. There was some stuff in the 80s that I sort of heard, but I wasn't really into music that much. But this was the first one where, you know, I was old enough to really enjoy it and appreciate it, and I really liked this album a lot. I really liked the theme of it, the musicality of it. It's really just an awesome piece of music. Very interesting packaging they did on this reissue. It's very, you know, it shows off this artwork, but it is very stark. There's no kind of liner notes or anything. It's just the photographs. You can buy the deluxe package that's like $120, and it comes with liner notes. But for some reason, this one it was still not cheap. It was $45, I think. Very expensive. Insert there. Record 1. And there is the record 2 insert. And then we have some custom labels on here. Just on black vinyl. I believe it's supposed to be 180 gram. We have TML-M in the dead wax. So this was mastered at the mastering lab. And it sounds really good. It sounds better than I've ever heard it before. It's definitely better than the CD. This comes with a download as well, which doesn't do me any good because I've had the CD for 20 years now. But so yeah, so Pink Floyd's Division Bell. If you're a lover of this album, I would say it's worth getting this reissue. If you're not, I mean, maybe not. It's pretty expensive. I thoroughly enjoy this. I never thought I would have a copy of this on vinyl in my collection, just because the one that was available previously was pretty expensive, and it wasn't even a complete version of the album. It was an abridged version. Yeah, glad to have this in the collection. Love the music. Pink Floyd's Division Bell staying in the collection, obviously. Love this one. Wouldn't have spent the money for it if I didn't love it. Alright, next up, just a quick one. Joan Baez Volume 2 on Vanguard. This is a later reissue of this album. A good album from Joan Baez. Good strong material on here. Lily of the West is on here. Banks of Ohio. Just some good acoustic guitar, folk singers, singer kind of stuff. There's the later Vanguard label. Yeah, main reason I'm not keeping this, even though I do already have this on vinyl, is that this has a strange kind of warp in it that causes it to actually skip. So maybe this can be a practice for flattening records, but yeah, good record. I love Joan Baez, and this is a good one, but not going to be keeping this obviously because it's warped, but I may try and flatten it. It's a funny kind of warp, because if you just look at it, you can turn it and tilt it and look at it from the side, and you can't see it, but you put it on a turntable and drop a needle on it, and it's pretty bad. It's weird. Never seen a warp quite like that you couldn't actually see with your naked eye. Okay, next up we have the 6th album from the synth pop band Ultravox from 1986. 1982. I don't know why I'm saying 1986. Really cool synth pop band that I really don't know much of their music at all. This is my first Ultravox album that I've actually listened to, but really good stuff. I did recognize the Serenade is a song I've heard before, and I believe Reap the Wild Wind I've heard before as well. But a good solid synth pop album, really interesting musically, really good stuff. They sort of bounce around within the post-punk synth pop, almost a little bit reggae-ish at times. Interestingly enough, this was produced by George Martin, the Beatles producer. Just really good, strong, solid music, so I look forward to hearing some more Ultravox in the future. This is a UK pressing on Chrysalis Records, so that was cool. Another one of my finds from that thrift store where I found a bunch of UK pressings. There is a printed insert with some little bit of liner notes on it and some artwork on it. Sort of a custom label on Chrysalis Records. As I said, this is UK pressing. Sounds really nice. Probably digital, I would guess. It has a very clean sound to it. But it's good stuff, and that kind of sound works okay with synth pop stuff anyway. So Ultravox's Quartet staying in the collection. Really enjoyed this one a lot, and it was a really good first experience of an Ultravox album. So check that one out if you see it, if you're into the synth pop type stuff. Okay, next up, another UK pressing here. We got several more of these actually to get through today. This is Pepsi's Band-Aid. Of course, the classic album that features Do They Know It's Christmas? And then a bunch of other artists are featured on here. You got Queen, Brian Ferry, Ultravox is on here also, Dire Straits, Beach Boys, Elton John, Spandau Ballet, Boomtown Rats, Thompson Twins. Cool little comp. It's a classic because of the Do They Know It's Christmas. Unfortunately, this one is kind of noisy. It's a little bit scratchy. As I said, these came from a thrift store. This one was not treated so nicely. The other ones were pretty nice, but for some reason this one is a little rough around the edges, so I'm not going to be keeping it. Quickly show the label here. Pepsi Band-Aid label. Yeah, a pretty cool comp, but unfortunately not nice enough to keep. Kind of rough, so this one is not going to be staying in the collection either. Okay, moving on to a little bit of prog here. This is Barklay James Harvest live tapes from 1978, live concert. This is actually my first time hearing anything from Barklay James Harvest, and I really did enjoy this one quite a bit. It's sort of a later prog album. Get a little more synth type stuff in there, a little bit more modern sounding, a little bit more like maybe a Marillion kind of sound. Really good stuff. I did thoroughly enjoy having this. This is actually, I thought this was a UK pressing. This is actually a West German pressing, back from the days when there was a West and East Germany. Really nice 2 LP live set here on the Polydor label. And just, you know, if you're into prog, you probably already have a lot of Barklay James Harvest. I like prog, but I don't have a lot of it. But I pick it up when I see it, when I think it's going to be something interesting, and this was definitely something that was interesting, and I'm glad I picked it up. So, some good sort of slightly more modern prog stuff. Thoroughly enjoyed this one. Give it a chance. Good modern, somewhat modern prog. Okay, next up we have another album from Joan Baez. This is her self-titled debut album. Not sure when this one came out. I believe it was 62, I think, 63. Really cool stereo copy of this. I already do have a mono copy of this in the collection already. Since it's just her and her guitar, there's not really much difference between the mono and stereo versions, but I thought I would keep this stereo copy in the collection just because it is so nice. It's really clean, sounds awesome. This one has Silver Dagger, you got 10,000 Miles, House of the Rising Sun, All My Trials. Just a really strong debut, and you know, this is why she got so popular, just because she has a beautiful voice and a wonderful songwriter and a wonderful singer, and she does great when she sings her own music as well as singing other people's music. And so this one's staying in the collection. Definitely enjoyed it. Definitely check it out. This is, you know, dollar bin, thrift store kind of stuff. If you can find a nice copy of it, it's definitely worth giving a listen to. So Joan Baez, self-titled. And last but not least, staying in the folk genre, we have an album from 1962 from Peter, Paul, and Mary. This is their album titled Movin'. This is a stereo copy of this on Warner Brothers. A beautiful, beautiful copy of this. I believe this is an original pressing of this. It is on the gold Warner Brothers label. There you go. It has one A and one C stampers on it. No kind of spindle wear on this thing. Normally these are pretty well used. A lot of spindle wear and everything. This thing is just pristine looking. I was so happy to find this. Just a beautiful copy of this album. And a really good, strong album from them as well. I mean, you have Flora is on here, Puff the Magic Dragon, This Land Is Your Land, A Solon is on here. Good, strong folk album from Peter, Paul, and Mary. Definitely enjoyed this one. This is an upgrade copy, definitely, for my collection. So that's going to do it for this episode of The Vinyl Survivor. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments, questions, whatever it is in the show notes below, or just give me a thumbs up. I like that a lot. And if you're not already subscribed and you like the show, please subscribe. I do at least one of these a week. Have a happy new year, and we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.